Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to a very special edition of Talking Wrestling TXN. As this is the recap of WrestleMania Night 1. We are live on YouTube and StreamYard.com as this is myself and Anthony Florio. Michael Bullock will be joining us in just a little bit. He is actually on his way. He was hanging out with Florio. Florio and him were together to watch it. I had commitments beyond my control, so I had some things going on my end. However, here we are, and let's do it. Night number 1, WrestleMania, 7 matches on the fight card, and let's jump it off. We started off with the women's world title, Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch, the winner of the bout, in 17 minutes and 5 seconds, and still the WWE World Women's Champion, the Nightmare, Rhea Ripley, mommy beats the man, as they say. Solid opener to WrestleMania, amazing matchup. It was exactly what we thought it was going to be. Back and forth, absolutely just tore the house down. We didn't know how this was going to turn out, but mommy came out on top. You know, they solidified her for the second year in a row. Mommy getting a big win. Now she's beaten half of the 4 horsewomen at WrestleMania. She beat Charlotte Flair 1 year ago. Now she takes out Becky Lynch. And you can probably say the crowd noise was, it kind of was majority Rhea Ripley, which I'm not gonna say I was surprised about, but it definitely caught our attention, to say the very least. Rhea Ripley successfully defends the title in what was undoubtedly a 3.5 to 4-star fight. Very good action, very good outcome. You can make an argument that yes, it was probably not what we expected, but Rhea successfully defending. We said that there was a chance. Um, we thought that maybe there's a chance that she wins it. We would not have been surprised if Rhea would have won it, just as much as we thought that there was not a big surprise if Becky would have walked away with this title. But Rhea does it. She successfully defends the championship. And in the immortal words of Jesse the Body Ventura, a la Anthony Florio, the champion remains the champion. So Florio, come on in on this one. Rhea Ripley, mommy on top. She is still the world women's champion representing Monday Night Raw.
And who had this one, MF?
Yeah, you got it. You called it.
If I recall, didn't you have Becky winning this match?
I definitely, I thought that there's a possibility Becky was going to win it, but you also remember I did say I would not have been surprised or shocked if Rhea won it either.
Okay, so and Michael Bullock had Becky winning it. You know how Bullock was about it going in, but
yeah.
But I'm not at all surprised. I had a feeling Rhea was going to win this thing, and not quite a passing of the torch moment, but you know it is what it is. So, all right, let's set it up. Becky had a special entrance with her narrating select quotes from her book. Rhea was played to the ring by the band Motionless in White, and they got to work after the bell. And the man scored the first major takedown, and that's where everything started. These two are known for being willing to have physical matches that push their limit, so it should not surprise anyone that they made this feel like a highly competitive fight. We saw a lot of great individual moves and sequences. Becky focused a lot of her attention on the arm Rhea had in a cast until Friday to set up for her finisher, but Rhea locked in her signature standing reverse cloverleaf before Becky could apply her trademark armbar. This was the perfect match to put in the opening spot if it wasn't going to be in the main event. Both superstars did an excellent job making every near fall count and selling every big move. After countering the manhandle slam from the middle rope, the Eradicator hit the Riptide into the turnbuckle before hitting another in the middle of the ring to score the win and retain her title. Mommy will continue her year-long reign of dominance after an outstanding match with Lynch. Bravo to both women. Both women had incredible entrances and amazing gear. Rhea also had long extensions in her hair for a new look, which I absolutely love. She looks really good with that long hair, I'm telling you. The way the camera was showing everyone during their entrances was interesting. It might have been an 8K camera. And Rhea hit a really nice Northern Lights suplex, followed by an awesome sequence with Becky countering a suplex into an inside cradle, only for Ripley to power her back up for a suplex anyway. 4 to 4.25 stars. Excellent jump off here tonight, no doubt about it. The right woman won. That's all that I got what I wanted out of this. I wanted Rhea to win, and the reign continues. And Michael Bullock asked an interesting question during our get together tonight, and that is, he said, if not Becky, then who? And speak of the devil, there he is. So I'll give it to him in just a minute. But nonetheless, right outcome here. Great match to start it off. 4 to 4.25 stars. And MF, you said the time was 17:05, was it?
17:05, yes.
17:05. Okay. Because Bullock and I were wondering about the time, and now we got it. So
yep, 17:05 was the time of the fall. Michael Bullock, welcome. You haven't missed much, my friend. We're actually talking about the first match. Rhea Ripley successfully defending the women's world title as she knocks off Becky Lynch here tonight.
17 minutes, 5 seconds.
Yeah, and of course, like I said, I just got back from hanging over with Anthony and his friends. Yeah, if you thought night one was pretty good for us, wait till tomorrow night. So, yeah, so when it comes to this, I'll give this 4 stars as well. I mean, this was a great jump off here, and even though, well, I was telling this to Florio, and you're hearing this, Fletch. In my outcome, I was hoping for Becky Lynch to win, but hey, I'll eat that slice of humble pie and enjoy it.
I'm right there. I'm right there with you, Bullock, because I also called for Becky to win it. I said I wouldn't be surprised if Rhea successfully defends, but I was kind of hoping more for Becky to win. I was kind of more on that. I was playing more my heart than my head. Let's say that.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing too, Fletch. So you're not the only one. So, but anywho, this was definitely a great jump off to WrestleMania 40. Both women gave it their all. So, and like I said, the question is now what? I mean, if Becky was our best hope, who's going to be the one to dethrone Rhea Ripley? Well, there's one that does come to my mind, and let's just say it's someone who was responsible for that. Rhea was responsible for putting this certain person out of action.
Liv?
Yes.
You thinking Liv Morgan? All right.
That's what I'm thinking. But then again, when we heard the news with the draft coming up,
yeah,
who knows? There's a chance somebody from SmackDown could be on Raw, and I was telling Florio this, and you're hearing this, Fletch. I'm sure Rhea Ripley is hoping and praying that a certain person that we're going to talk about later on, who made her WrestleMania and WWE in-ring debut, doesn't come to Monday Night Raw.
Oh, yes, I know exactly who you're talking about now. I exactly know who you're talking about now, and quite frankly, she would be the one.
Exactly.
Let's like this person would say, and pardon my language, ladies and gentlemen, cut the shit. Let's get down to brass tacks. I know exactly who you're talking about. So
yeah.
no doubt.
Yeah, you want me to say it, or should we just wait till we get to that?
No, we can wait. We can wait till get there. Let the people think who it is.
Oh, yeah,
I think they probably know who. They probably. I think you gave a little too much context clues there, Bullock. But I'm not gonna hold that against you.
Well, I didn't say the name, so let's.
No, but you did. But you did kind of give a couple of clues that was pretty obvious. Let's say that.
Well, let's just wait until we get there. So.
All right.
So, Great matchup. Good way to start it off. So let's move on to the next matchup of WrestleMania 40.
It was the six-pack tag team ladder match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. It was the Judgment Day. Damian Priest and Finn Balor, they put the titles on the line against DIY, Aussie, A-Town Down Under. You had Awesome Truth. You had the New Day. You had the New Catch Republic also involved in this match. And, well, we said that there was going to be some history made. We had it done 2 times over. They split the belts. We were wondering how they were going to do it. They splitted them. They said that the match began where one team was able to grab a set of tag team titles. Once both sets were retrieved, we were going to have new champions respectively. So, ladies and gentlemen, the time of the fall altogether was 17 minutes and 25 seconds. And more importantly, the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions is Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. A-Town Down Under has captured the SmackDown Tag Team titles. And as far as the Raw Tag Team titles, the new Raw Tag Team Champions is R-Truth, and The Miz, the Awesome Truth, has won the tag team titles. Anthony Florio, it is all yours. 2 times over, history was made.
And that means 2 unprecedented crownings, right?
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Okay. So, all right. Ladder matches are already chaotic in most cases. But when you have 12 men fighting over 2 sets of belts, you are going to have something that can be a bit hard to follow, but a lot of fun at the same time. R-Truth had some great comedy spots, including a moment when he thought he won by pinfall. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller took the SmackDown Tag Team titles down to win those titles not too long into the match, but other teams stopped them before they could take down the Raw belts. We can argue until the cows come home about whether the right teams won, but the important thing is that the titles are finally split and each brand will have its own set of champions again. We saw some fun spots and moments, but this won't stand out among the long list of ladder matches in WWE. It was a lot of fun and the crowd was being vocal, but it was mostly just a series of big spots with only a little bit of storytelling thrown in. After years of being a beloved goofball, R-Truth finally got his WrestleMania moment when he won the Raw Tag Team Championships for him and The Miz to end an enjoyable ladder match. Miz climbed the ladder and hugged him to celebrate their victory as the crowd cheered. Johnny Gargano had Shawn Michaels inspired gear, and Tommaso Ciampa looked a bit like Triple H, was channeling his days as was channeling his day and be like Triple H. And Xavier Woods was channeling his days as Consequences Creed in TNA a bit with his gear. Damian Priest and Finn Balor had cool masks for their entrance. Michael Cole calling out an entrance video mistake for Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate was kind of funny because you remember, as Bate and Dunne were coming out, they still had the Awesome Truth graphic up there. And Bullock and I called that out. We called that out immediately. So, and then the belts being hung separately made it almost too obvious how this would end. Damian Priest took out Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate in a brutal way by using Tyler Bate as a missile to take Dunne off the ladder. Grayson Waller took a powerbomb out of the ring and threw a ladder that looked great. And JD McDonough took a big bump from a ladder through some tables outside the ring. Regardless of the constructive criticism, Bullock and I, along with my brother and his friends, we ate this one up, man. We were going nuts during this match. We absolutely loved this match. And Bullock will tell you that firsthand when we get to him. But it went pretty much as I expected. I should have listened to my gut. I should have went with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller to win those SmackDown belts, but in a way, I kind of let MF throw the New Day out there, and he got me thinking. I should have listened to my gut and went with Theory and Waller. I was thinking Theory and Waller were going to get the SmackDown belts. No surprise about the Raw belts. You knew Truth and Miz were going to win those, and but the big thing is we fought for the first time in almost 2 years. Raw's going to have their tag team titles, and SmackDown's going to have their tag team titles. No more of this undisputed stuff. So there is absolutely nothing left for me to say on this except, hot damn, what a match. Bullock and I and my brother and his friends, we ate this one up, man. 4.25, 4.5 stars. One of the fights of the night. You can make an argument for fight of the night if you wanted to. I would not be mad at you. Certainly not. So 4.25, 4.5. Michael Bullock, you and me and my brother and his friend Calvin, we ate this one up, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we definitely ate this up. All the things we saw on this was just absolutely sick, and from all the falls that we saw, I mean, the nasty bumps. I mean, my goodness, this was just total insanity. 4.25, 4.5. You can make an argument for fight of the night, but yeah, finally, each brand is going to have its own tag team titles. No more of this undisputed BS. So, Fletch, I know you're happy with your brand now having its own tag team championships, and Anthony will happy that his brand has its own tag team championships now. So
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say. So it is yours, Fletch.
4.25, no doubt about it. Definitely, you could definitely say it's one of the fights of the night. I'm not going to call it the fight of the night, but it was a great matchup. Great battle, great title defense. And I was surprised that they gave it to Theory and Waller, because I heard rumors that they were going to take them out of the fight. There was rumors that they were not even supposed to be competing for these titles, and now they're the tag team champions of the world. So
I'll tell you what. Whoever had the thought of them not being in the match, I'm sure they're happy they kept them in it.
yeah. So I mean, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out, but oh my goodness, man, this was stunning. Awesome Truth, like we said, no big surprise. We were hoping for that moment. We got it. So that's going to be very interesting to watch on Monday Night Raw. But A-Town Down Under, that's going to be a more interesting to see how they're going to look and what's going to happen with them now as the tag team champions of the world. So we'll wait and see how that plays out. So next up we had was the tag team matchup, as it was Santos Escobar and Dirty Dominic Mysterio, along with members of Legado del Fantasma, Angel, Humberto, and Electra Lopez. And on the other side, they went up against Rey Mysterio and Andrade with the LWO. Carlito, Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wilde, and Zelina Vega. And it was LWO winning the match in 11 minutes and 5 seconds. And not only did that happen, but there was, you could make an argument there was some interference, but it was a good type of interference to have. We had Philadelphia Eagles in the building. Newly retired, future Hall of Famer Jason Kelsey showing up, representing New Heights, and his running buddy, his line mate, Lane Johnson, representing the Philadelphia Eagles in luchador masks, helping out LWO, getting the win. Michael Bullock, it is yours. Rey and Andrade gets a WrestleMania victory. We all got this one wrong. We all thought it was Santos and Dominic that was going to get it, and they pulled the rug out from under us.
And not only that, we thought that Carlito was going to turn on LWO,
and it did not happen. At least not now.
Yeah,
Maybe down the line it will, but as far as tonight, he's firmly and loyal to LWO.
but yeah, I mean, like you said, we all got this wrong. What was the time again?
11:05.
I'll give this about maybe 3 to 3.5 on this one. This was, yeah, I mean, we all thought the Santos and Dominic were gonna win, but yeah, they pulled the rug out from underneath us, and I'm actually fine with the good kind of interference because, hello, Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson are from the Philadelphia Eagles and WrestleMania in Philadelphia, so I think this was. I really like this, so yeah, and it gives the city something to cheer about here. So there's really nothing more for me to say. So Fletch, like you said, we all got this wrong, but the Philadelphia fans are certainly happy.
Oh no, this was wild. This was actually a very good match. I could say about 3. I'll give you 3 stars here. The outcome was a surprise outcome, and on top of that, it was the way that they got to the end of the match was actually more surprising than anything else. Now, don't get me wrong. Am I happy that Andrade and Ray won? Absolutely. I'm ecstatic that they won it. I'm very happy for them. But for the second straight year, Dominic gets, you can say, gets buried. And one person not on YouTube, on Twitch, went absolutely ballistic. Now, it's a character. Don't take him at face value. He was just kind of playing a narrative. This deadbeat dad had to beat his son and had freaking Philadelphia Eagles on his side. How despicable can that be? So, like I said, the guy's just playing a character. He is trying to play a trope. He was just trolling his fan base. He doesn't believe that. I know the guy was probably like, you know what? It is what it is. But he needed it to play the heel like commentator and everything else. He was playing a la Anthony Florio and how we would normally do this because at WrestleMania it's me and Florio only, nobody else. But I know Florio was throwing that venom at me, saying what a absolute robbery this was. This was highway robbery.
What an atrocity.
What an atrocity. How
What's
could
the purpose of this?
Yeah, what was the purpose of this? How could I justify and basically yelling at me saying, how can I justify the actions of 2 men who has no business being at ringside at WrestleMania? Which, you know what? Hindsight 2020, I kind of have to agree here. Don't get me wrong. It was awesome to see Jason Kelsey. It's awesome to see Lane Johnson. These are 2 guys who are, you want to talk about heroes for the Philadelphia Eagles, like especially Jason Kelsey, who just recently retired. And the funny thing was that WWE was asking and begging and pleading for Jason Kelsey to show up at WrestleMania. This was in the dirt sheets that they wanted Jason Kelsey, and there was no confirmation that he was gonna be there or anything else. So they kept that under wraps. Hey, props to WWE for at least keeping it under wraps. But the word got out that they were trying to get him. But there was no real negotiations, or there was nothing in the pipeline that he was going to show up or not. They said that they had a desire that they wanted him to be a part of WrestleMania, that they wanted him a part of WrestleMania, that they wanted it to have him at some factor on the show, but they didn't know how they were going to do it or what they were going to incorporate. And when they did, look what happened. It was awesome. The crowd went nuts. Philadelphia's two beloved sons of Philadelphia Eagles in that building, in that stadium. It was a complete home run. It made the moment even better. Like, for me, one factor is you got the Zelina Andrade reuniting. We had that magical moment on SmackDown last night. Then to get this kind of great moment, seeing them together, united, that was awesome. We thought Carlito was going to turn. Well, apparently tonight was not the night for that. So how does that play out down the line? Well, I guess we'll find out soon enough. I'm just happy. I'm ecstatic. This was a great matchup. It's a 3-star bout. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Yeah, 3 to 3.25 for this one. As expected, this was a fast-paced and exciting match. Rey, Andrade, and Escobar are celebrated veterans, and Dom has made big improvements since joining the main roster. All four men wanted to mix some classic lucha style with WWE signature style of wrestling. While it would have been nice for everyone who was at ringside to be in a bigger match, it was probably a good idea to keep this as a 2-on-2 contest so these four superstars could shine. LWO and Legado del Fantasma eventually got involved at ringside, and Joaquin Wilde did the same slingshot move he has done a few times before. Two men in masks prevented Dom from using a chair and allowed Rey to hit a 619, followed by a splash to Santos Escobar for the win. And it turned out to be Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson from the Philadelphia Eagles revealed under the masks and celebrated with a victorious Rey Mysterio and Andrade. Bit overbooked at the end, but it was an enjoyable match with a couple of cameos to pop the local Philly fans. Andrade's spinning elbow caught Dom square in the jaw. It looked really good, and Dom sold it well. The double cross body spot from Andrade and Rey was awesome. Andrade's dragon screw had a little extra spice on it, and Zelina Vega almost completely missed the moonsault she tried to hit on Elektra Lopez. But nonetheless, 3 to 3.25 stars for this. So with all that being said, MF, we move on now to a match that we were only going to see, that we've only seen it twice before. This is only the third time this has happened. Brother versus brother.
And it was Jey Uso main event. Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso. And it was the little brother, Jey, winning the match over big brother Jimmy. 11 minutes and 5 seconds. It was yeet over no yeet. And Philly went bonkers with the ending. It was a clean victory, straight up 1-on-1. Thank God for that. It was a fine match. Another 3-star bout. Look, they did everything they needed it to do. This was exactly what they needed it to do. Obviously, the war's not over. The war is not over. It's obvious the battle's going to continue. Brother versus brother is not done by a long shot. No way. I think this is just the start of a nice rivalry between them two. But this was a big victory, amazing win for Jey Uso, and he gets a WrestleMania moment, man. The crowd went bonkers. Even Pat McAfee was into it as always. I know you guys were loving it. Yeah, nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, 3 stars. Jey Uso wins in 11:05.
3 stars, but if I'm going to be honest with you, MF, I was kind of a little underwhelmed about this match. If I'm going to be honest,
I agree. I agree.
This match should have been a lot better than what it was. I mean, I had a feeling we weren't going to get a 5-star, like we had with Brett and Owen at WrestleMania 10. But I thought it was going to be somewhere around that area. I'll be honest, even the Matt and Jeff match from 25 was actually better than this when it comes to the brother matches. But I'll tell you what, WrestleMania has hosted brother versus brother matches before, with Brett versus Owen at 10 and Matt and Jeff at 25. But this was the first time in history 2 twins fought at WrestleMania. Nikki and Brie Bella fought on pay-per-view, but never at WrestleMania. The majority of this match was about telling a story, not putting on the most exciting sequences. In some moments, it worked. In others, it felt like they were moving too slow and the crowd was beginning to check out. Jay and Jimmy did a good job selling most of the emotional moments, and the crowd woke up quite a bit when Jimmy started begging Jay for forgiveness. Jay picked him up and hugged him before Jimmy popped him with a super kick and hit an Uso splash for a 2 count. Once Jay recovered, he hit his own Uso splash and got the pin. Not having Solo get involved was the right call. This was decent, but for WrestleMania, it didn't quite measure up. On any other pay-per-view, this might have been received better. The video package for this match was incredible. The WWE production team rarely misses with these videos. Lil Wayne came out to play Jay to the ring, and one of Jay's super kicks looked like it connected a bit more than planned, but Jimmy was fine. This was another 3, teetering on 3 1/4 for this, but I mean, in your words, MF, I'll sum it up. This match was like the WrestleMania set in MF's eyes. Solid, but not overly spectacular. I'll leave it at that. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, it was Yeet night tonight, and Pat McAfee doing the Yeet. You were doing the Yeet, and you got to do the Yeet dance all up Pat McAfee.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for all those fans, they got to do the Yeet dance in victory. So yeah, so I agree. This is about 3 1/4 on this one. I mean, I was expecting more out of this. I mean, but yeah, I mean, it did feel underwhelming. I mean, that's not to say that the match sucked. I mean, I just expected better out of it, but you know, it is what it is, and we got the right outcome here. So yeah, I don't think this is done by a long shot. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
Next up, we had was the 6-woman tag. It was Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi versus Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane of Damage Control. It was the face team. They won it in 8 minutes and 5 seconds. Jade Cargill with the Jaded to win the match. Anthony Florio, it is yours. Bianca, Jade, and Naomi gets WrestleMania wins at 8:05.
By default, this was the worst fight of the night. 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi had an epic entrance for their match against Damage Control. They had a special elevator and introduction. 6-person tag matches usually follow a pattern designed to give all 6 competitors some time in the ring and at least one moment to shine. So there is usually a predictable flow. However, none of that matters if the action is good, and with these 6 athletes, there was plenty to enjoy. Bianca Belair was as impressive as ever with her displays of power and agility. When Jade Cargill finally tagged into the match, the crowd lit up and she went after everyone on the opposing team. She easily caught Kairi Sane in midair and hit a backbreaker. She picked up the win for her team in a match that was good, but shorter than expected. With a few more minutes, this would have been much more memorable. Jade Cargill's WrestleMania debut was a big success for her. The future of women's wrestling in WWE looks very bright with competitors like these 6 women. Belair hitting a moonsault on all 3 opponents was a fun spot. Cargill's backbreaker to Kairi looked great. Sane sold it like a pro. But of course, the big moment out of this, Bianca used that braid again. The braid, and we all heard that, and we all lost our minds. I mean, when Bianca hits you with that braid, man.
Oh,
ask Sasha Banks or Mercedes or whatever you want to call her. Ask Becky, and now you can ask the newest victim. So, man alive. I mean, when you hear that, it sounds like a shotgun going off, man. Seriously. I mean, but don't worry, there's more sounds. You thought that sound was loud? Wait till the next match. We'll talk about loud sounds, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, 2.5, 2 3/4. By default, the worst fight of the night, even though it was not remotely bad at all. It was just, pressed for time, as we say. So 2.5, 2 3/4, right outcome. I mean, we all knew Jade was going to score the winning fall, and no surprise here that she did. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, you mentioned it. You mentioned it earlier. Rhea Ripley better hope that Jade Cargill does not get drafted to Raw in the draft next month. Because if she does, she can kiss that women's world title goodbye.
Exactly. If there's one woman who can take that women's title from Mommy, I think you're looking at the one that we just saw in that six-woman tag team action, and that is Jade Cargill. Because, I mean, my goodness, I mean, the strength that she you see that what she does is just so impressive. I mean, you could say her WrestleMania debut was indeed impressive, and for Damage Control, they found out the hard way, and obviously this was the right outcome, because there was no way you were going to have Jade Cargill lose in a WrestleMania debut. No way. I mean, like I said, right outcome here, and Fletch, as I give it to you, like I said earlier, Rhea Ripley better be hoping and praying that Jade Cargill doesn't get drafted to Monday Night Raw come the draft, because if she gets drafted, I think you're looking at the woman to dethrone Mommy.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. Solid matchup. 2.5. Yes, it is by default worst fight of the night. We will indeed move on from there. Next up, Intercontinental Heavyweight title on the line, as it was Sami Zayn going up against the current champion, Gunther, the winner of the bout, 15 minutes and 30 seconds, and new Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn has done it. He has done the impossible. He has knocked off the man who held the Intercontinental title, and listen to this number, 666 days. Can you say foreshadowing? 666 days as Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, and Sami Zayn is now, maybe, I think he's about a couple hours into his reign as the Intercontinental Champion. History has been made, unprecedented crowning. Michael Bullock, oh my God, can you believe this?
And I had this. I told Florio this, that I believe that Sami Zayn was going to be the man to dethrone Gunther, because, I mean, look at what they've done with this whole Sami Zayn storyline leading up to this match. I mean, he was trained by Chad Gable, a man who, in my personal opinion, was the closest to ever dethroning Gunther. And not only that, you also saw backstage the moment with his family, with his wife, his son, and also with his longtime friend Kevin Owens. With all those things, I just had this feeling that Sammy was going to do it, and lo and behold, I was correct. I mean, Gunther had an unbelievable run as champion. That's something he should not be ashamed of. So, what was the time of the fall, Fletch?
15.5 minutes.
Man, I'm going to give this another 4 to 4.5. I mean, what a match this was. And the Shakespearean drama just really added to it. I mean, the crowd was into it. I mean, and especially the way Gunther was, literally poking fun at the family. And it's almost like they were pulling for Sami Zayn to do this. And it happened. I mean, my goodness. So 4 to 4.5. Fletch, the run has come to an end.
4.25, 4.5. I cannot believe that just happened. I really thought maybe Master Gable or somebody else was going to do it. And, there was even talk about Gunther keeping the belt all the way up until SummerSlam. And then who knows how that plays out. But now, what this does is this opens the door for Gunther to possibly go after the World Heavyweight title. And that might be dangerous. With Gunther no longer the Intercontinental Champion, and with the title in the situation that he's in, this could get very dangerous, as they say. But at the end of the day, the right man won, the most deserving man won, and that is something that I think we can definitely say. It's that Sami Zayn did something that no man has done, and that's beat the Ring General cleanly, by the way, in the center of the ring, 1, 2, 3, to win that title. It's been over 2 years since somebody has upended Gunther as the Intercontinental Champion, and Sami Zayn, the underdog from the underground, went down to Philadelphia, the Philadelphia, and has walked away as a champion again. Much, much respect, much love to Sami Zayn. Congratulations, my friend. Uh, I, I said it in the commentary. He did it. He's won it. We have a new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. History made. The biggest unprecedented crownings we've ever had in WrestleMania history. He has done the impossible. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
I'm still stunned. I mean, I can't believe I honest to goodness could not believe this happened. I mean, here I was thinking Gunther was gonna, find a way like he has done. I mean, it's an unbelievable moment for Sami. I mean, unbelievable Rocky-esque moment, unbelievable. I'll give it that, but the thing is, Sami's been there before. He's held that title before. This is his 4th time as an Intercontinental Champion. And while I'm happy for the guy, I am. It really should have gone to a guy who, really could have, used the rub, like a Chad Gable or a Braun Breaker or someone in that nature. But, they obviously have big plans for Sami Zayn. So another year, another moment. 1 year ago, he and Kevin Owens dethroned the Usos, became the tag team champions in the main event of night 1 last year at SoFi. That place went into mass hysteria when they won. This place went into mass hysteria tonight. Kevin Owens was there to wish Sami Zayn luck before he made his way to the ring to challenge Gunther for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Sami Zayn is a natural babyface, but against a monster heel like Gunther, he becomes even more of an underdog. The crowd was heavily behind him and chanted several times to show support. They structured this match exactly how you would expect. The champion would dominate for a few minutes at a time. Zayn would make a comeback, and then Gunther would find a way to counter him and begin the cycle all over again. Both men had several visible bruises and bumps. But the surprising part was how much redder Gunther's chest was than Zayn's, because the Austrian is usually the one giving out welts. This was just as physical as expected, and the inclusion of Sami's family added to the emotion. Zayn survived some of Gunther's biggest moves, including a massive clothesline and 2 brutal powerbombs. The champ just became more frustrated and started punishing Sami while talking trash to his wife. He was toying with his opponent, but Zayn began showing signs of life. He nailed Gunther with a haluva kick, followed by a super brain buster. He drilled Gunther with 2 more haluva kicks to get the pin and the win. Sami Zayn is our new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. After a physical and emotional match, Gunther's epic reign was finally brought to an end by the underdog from the underground. Sami was shown with his kid and with his son and wife backstage before heading toward the ring. Chad Gable wished him luck, but said Zayn didn't need him at ringside. The announcers made numerous references to Rocky IV, which was even funnier after Xavier Woods had gear that looked similar to Apollo Creed in those movies. A small percentage of wrestlers chop so hard you can hear it no matter how loud the crowd is. Gunther is one of those people. Now, you remember earlier when I talked about Bianca Belair and that braid? What about those Gunther chops? Oh, Sammy had some chops of his own that were just as loud as Gunther's. But nonetheless, yes, MF, we did the whoa in our traditional did you, and I said, and I do my traditional did you hear that? And MF would say, did you feel that? My God. We'll have some more on that in a little bit. But nonetheless, unbelievable match. Great story told here. You can make an argument for this to be the fight of the night if you wanted to. Because I'm going to give this another 4.25, 4.5 stars. Absolutely tremendous match. Great moment for Sammy. The only downside, my only constructive criticism, I kind of wish it would have been a guy who, like someone who's never been an Intercontinental Champion, like a Chad Gable or a Braun Breaker or someone like that. But hey, Sammy's is as good as anybody. They obviously wanted to give him another moment like he had a year ago. So Sami Zayn can now say, I ended the longest tag team championship reign 1 year ago with the Usos. 1 year later, he can say, I ended the greatest Intercontinental Heavyweight title run of all time. And both of those at WrestleMania. Wow. More power to you, Sammy. More power to you.
Sammy's making
4.5. MF?
I was going to say, Sammy's making a legitimate argument for Hall of Famer. To end two major reigns like that, the body of work of his career right now, he's on the fast track to Hall of Fame. I'm saying it. He's fast tracking himself there. He's getting up there in that range.
Could a possible world title run be in his cards in the future?
That I don't know. That I definitely don't know. But we'll see.
We'll see. We will see. But this is definitely a fast track to it. So Gunther, incredible champion. We'll never forget it. But now that frees Gunther up for the world title picture now.
Yeah.
He did what he had to do with that Intercontinental belt. And I'm telling you right now, come July, come Money in the Bank in Toronto, he's in that match. Gunther's in that match. You better believe he's winning it.
Yeah.
And when he wins it, whenever he's ready to catch
something tells me he ain't gonna waste that much time. I don't think he's gonna take as long as Damian Priest has right now with the Money in the Bank, because he's yet to cash it in.
Absolutely.
So that's the whole thing.
We shall see what happens, but nonetheless, though, 4.25, 4.5, incredible match. It's between this and the ladder match for me when it comes to fight of the night for tonight. Although you could make an argument for our main event in just a little bit, but oh yeah, Bullock started this one, right?
Yes.
Okay. So with that being said, MF, you thought last year's tag team match with the Usos and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens was the biggest tag team main event in WrestleMania history? Tonight was even bigger.
And it was The Rock and Roman Reigns, the Bloodline, versus Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. If the Bloodline won, Bloodline rules would be in effect for night 2. If Cody and Seth wins, then it's just a straight up one-on-one, no Bloodline involvement. Winners of the bout, 44 minutes, 35 seconds. The Rock and Roman Reigns wins, meaning on night 2, Bloodline rules are now in effect. No DQ, no countouts. Any interference will be perfectly legal, and you have to win by pin or submission in order to win the match. So,
and don't forget another thing too. If Cody loses, the story is over.
Yes.
He
He'll
never
never
gets
be.
another shot at the title ever again.
Yep. And that's the other big factor that was implemented by The Rock, utilizing his TKO powers on that situation. So yeah, that was also a part of it. It definitely wasn't lost on me on that factor, but obviously you could say fight of the night. You can say absolutely, like, you could even make an argument for 5. Like, there's an argument for 5 here. Like, the match was amazing. The battle was absolutely phenomenal. The back and forth, the whole 9 yards. One thing the one moment in the match that really needs to be dissected and looked upon, especially tomorrow night, Roman speared Rock. Could that have some kind of impact in the main event tomorrow night? So the match itself, you saw the body of work. It basically started out typical one-on-one, typical tag team, and then it just broke down. It went all over the place. It went outside of the ring. It went into the crowd. It went up the WrestleMania rampway. It got to points where normally areas where there should have been disqualifications, the referee could not lay any count or any DQ because The Rock would not allow it. He even threatened the referee that he would fire him on the spot. So it really was kind of abuse of power by The Rock that benefited the bloodline to win this match. There was a leniency without question in this matchup that it made it more thrilling, more amazing. There was a point where it looked like the bloodline was going to lose, and they did not. The Rock gets the victory. He beats Cody Rhodes. That cements bloodline rules to be in effect tomorrow night at WrestleMania Night 2. If the odds were not stacked against Cody even more, now they are. And on top of that, Seth Rollins is in big trouble because the very same knee that is bothering him got re-injured here tonight as well. You gotta believe Drew McIntyre is salivating right now, thinking, I'm about to become the world heavyweight champion tomorrow night. Because supposedly, if the rumors are true, Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre is starting night 2. They're the first match out on night 2 of WrestleMania. That's the rumor going around. I'm not saying it's official, but that was the rumor going around, is that Rollins and McIntyre is starting night 2. So we'll see how it plays out. But this was an amazing main event. Great fight, great battle. We knew the Bloodline was going to win it. They did. Now we're going to have to wait and see what night 2 provides. But like I said, the thing that is definitely looming in my head is that spear by Roman Reigns to his cousin, The Rock. Is that going to be the moment where Rock turns on Roman tomorrow night and then help Cody Rhodes finish the story and, more importantly, become the undisputed WWE champion? We'll wait and see. 4.5 to 5 is my rating. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Couldn't agree with you more, MF. The main event of night 1 of tonight determined the stipulation for tomorrow when The Rock and Roman Reigns took on Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. It was more than 30 minutes between the end of Sammy and Gunther's match and the beginning of this one. All 4 men stood in a stare down after the bell for a long time before Rollins and Reigns decided to start for their teams. The tribal chief took Rollins down quickly and talked some trash about ending this fast. When Cody tagged in, he tried to take control, but quickly found himself on defense. Seth tagged back in and locked up with Rock for his first match in 8 years. Rocky easily pushed him down, but the Visionary just smiled and out-wrestled Rock for a quick moment to show off. The first several minutes were quick exchanges and posturing, but things picked up a bit when Cody and The Rock were in the ring together. The Rock and Rollins ended up fighting into the crowd, but Rocky told the ref he would fire him if he counted him out. From that point forward, The Rock started cheating without worrying about any consequences. For a long time, this was all Rock and Reigns decimating Rollins and Rhodes. This was all done in a way to make it seem like Cody and Seth were in an impossible position, and it worked. But it also made for a match that wasn't as exciting as it should have been. Nobody expected a 5-star classic, but they didn't do enough to make this feel worthy of being a main event. This was enjoyable from a sports entertainment standpoint, but it was lacking in the pro wrestling department. After a long and overbooked match, The Rock pinned Cody Rhodes to win and make it so tomorrow's main event would be Bloodline Rules. Billing this as the biggest tag team match of all time was a bit much. And The Rock's entrance was awesome. WWE made a big production out of it. The video package made Seth feel like a bit of an afterthought in this match because he has his own bout to worry about tomorrow, but he was included as much as possible. The video was on the long side, but it was good. The Rock used some F-bombs when saying he would fire referee Chad Patton if he counted him out. The Cody Cutter did not connect very well. Cody putting Rock through a table with a rock bottom right before Roman speared Rollins, though, through the barricade was a good sequence. And but yet it was still a fun match, to say the very least. And like I said, you know, when this match was first announced, I had this feeling in my bones that Rock and Roman were winning this thing. And sure enough, they got the outcome right. Although there was one moment I was worried, and I was like, uh-oh, are they actually going to win this thing? When they hit that double pedigree spot, I mean, I'm like, no way. Is this really happening? And then when they kicked out, I'm like, okay, I think we're okay. And now that we got the Bloodline Rules and everything else, and you gave the crowd the unhappy ending, it pretty much guarantees, it all but guarantees that come tomorrow night we're gonna get the mega, you know, in the immortal words of Wayne's World, MF, the mega happy ending, if you know what I mean. So you know, you know me, we're all gonna want that mega happy ending, and I could somehow hear you, MF, say mega happy ending. Okay, that's doable. So hopefully it will be doable tomorrow night. That's all I'm gonna say. And based on this outcome tonight, I think we got a good shot at. I think we got a good shot at it. I think tomorrow night could be the night we've all been waiting for. Fingers crossed. So prayers up indeed. So 4.5 to 5. No doubt about it. Started slow, yes, but then the action picked up, and then we were off to the races after that. And this match tonight just became the second longest WrestleMania match in history. There was only one that was longer. That was Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. The almost hour and 2 minutes they had at WrestleMania 12 in the Iron Man match, when the boyhood dream came true for Shawn Michaels. And who knows, maybe it's a bit of a foreshadowing. And with Roman's reign, his reign will be at 1,316 days. Notice the final three numbers. 316. That's 316. Could that be foreshadowing? Wink, wink. So we'll wait and see on that. But 4.5 to 5. Started slow, action picked up, and then it was definitely an on the edge of your seat thrill ride. And I'll be honest, I got as much as I love Cody and as much as I love Seth, you guys know this, this was the outcome that I actually wanted. I wanted this outcome, and I got it. And now that we got this outcome, I'm feeling pretty good about tomorrow night. That's all I'm gonna say on that. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, biggest tag team main event of all time. Started slow, started on the slow side, but then once the action picked up, then we were off to the races. And yeah, we were definitely eating this one up here at the house. So but Bullock, with this outcome tonight, I got a pretty damn good feeling that come tomorrow night, we might be getting what we've been wanting what we've been waiting for a year.
Yes, we could be getting it, but we just gotta wait and see it play out. Because the thing is, with these, whenever we predict these Roman Reigns Universal Title matches, it's always been the same outcome. But I do have this good feeling that it's going to happen. But 4.5 to 5, I'm with you guys on all this. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. So overall review, and this is where Anthony starts us off.
Indeed, it is. All right. Consensus that I've seen is giving this an 8 out of 10. I'm more around the based on everything we saw tonight. I would say somewhere between 8 and 8.5. Night 1 of WrestleMania 40 was not perfect, but it had a lot to like. One notable highlight was R-Truth getting his first real WrestleMania moment when he and The Miz won the Raw Tag Team Championship. Two matches stood out above the rest in terms of wrestling quality. Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch and Gunther versus Sami Zayn were both outstanding bouts that helped all 4 competitors. The ladder and 6-woman tag matches had some fun moments, but the 2 matches involving the Bloodline ended up being weak points. Jay and Jimmy focused too much on storytelling instead of the high-energy style that made them famous. And the main event, in most eyes, was long, overbooked, and predictable. Seeing The Rock wrestle his first match in 8 years was cool, especially for fans in attendance. But it felt like the opening and closing bout swap places. If had the opening and closing bout swap places, maybe everything would have flowed much better. I don't know, but nonetheless, a very good show tonight. 8 to 8.5 out of 10 from me. I'm very much looking forward to tomorrow, especially that main event. So, because that's the one I've got the most emotional investment in. So, that's all I can say on it. 8.5. Michael Bullock, wow. You thought tonight was good. Wait until tomorrow.
Oh yeah, it's going to be good. So 8 to 8.5 for me as well. I mean, yeah, I thought there were some things I thought that could have been better, but all in all, there's really nothing much to complain about here. So, can't wait for tomorrow night. So, that being said, Fletch, you have the final word.
Yeah, it's 8.5. I think they did a really good job. WrestleMania Night 1, successful. A lot of fans, a lot of love after this one. I don't think there was anything bad you can say about this one. This one was, maybe a couple matches here and there. The 6-woman tag, not so great. The brother versus brother wasn't so great. But other than that, the rest of the night were bangers. Throughout the night, everything else. So now night 1 definitely did really well. And oh my God, night 2, we are on the verge of madness going into night 2. So we'll see. All right, guys. So that's it. We're done. We'll be back here tomorrow night, maybe same time. Who knows? We're definitely penciling it in between 11 and 11:30. So with that said, for Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, I'm Michael Flecha. So long, everybody, and we'll see you all tomorrow night for night 2 of WrestleMania.